I think I've kind of had a revelation this week about the razors I've been using or haven't been using. I think I might prefer this razor over the Fatboy. This is the Gillette Slim, the 1966, and I've used it before. I've used it in different videos, but it always just kind of sits here in my cabinet and I never seem to grab it to use. But this past week when I had the sunburn video, which has now turned into this gorgeous, silly looking farmer's tan, this thing is a fantastic razor. This one might be better than the Fatboy. Let's talk about that in a minute. Anyway, hey everybody, it's Friday. It's time to shave. I'm going to do an all vintage shave today. My friend of the channel, Christian Salazar, sent me this, some vintage Colgate shaving mug soap. So we're going to open this up and try it out. It's a puck in there. And then I'm going to use this 1966 Gillette Slim, which are less expensive on eBay and other online sites like Etsy. So if you don't want to spend $100 some odd on a Fatboy, the Gillette Slim is a really, really good razor. Now, I'm not going to use these vintage Gillette blades because they just don't shave very well. It's a cool package though. I just wanted to show that to you. And the brush I'm going to use, it has a vintage handle, but it's got a new knot in it. And I'm going to use this. It's a natural badger, which, you know, I'm not a huge fan of natural badger brushes, but I'm going to, if I can say that correctly, badger brushes. But I'm going to use this because it's got this gorgeous kind of honey-colored vintage thing. And I'm vintage. Yeah, I'm almost 50, so let's do a shave today, shall we? All right. So I took a shower, did my hair. And really, all this week since that sunburn video, I have been shaving with the Gillette Slim adjustable. Now, I put it up to 7 because that works beautifully. It hasn't nicked me at all. It's taken off, like after the first pass, it's like shaved better than maybe even the Rockwell. I hope this doesn't sound like hyperbole, but I've had this revelation. So I've got, what do I have in here? What blade? I think it's an Astra blade. Yeah, an Astra blade. This is like my 3rd or 4th shave on it, so I'm going to see how well it does. So fantastic blades and a great one. Great razor. All right, so let's open up the Colgate shaving mug. So now there's not a date on here, so I don't know how old it is. Could be 70s, could be, you know, I'm not sure, because they didn't really change the packaging much. So let's take it out here. Thanks, Christian, for sending this to me. Colgate Palmolive, New York, made in the USA. So that's what it looks like. Oh, it's got a little slippery. Colgate's cup soap, and it's got a little, look at that. It looks like broccoli, but it's a shaving brush with a lot of lather on top. So what we're gonna do is, let me take the brush out of here. I'm gonna use this old cheap Vanderhagen bowl that I have, because I only have this bowl and that kind of metal bowl. I'm gonna put it in here. Fits in there perfectly. And actually, I'm gonna let it, since it's old, I'm gonna put some hot water in there and let it bloom for a minute. That just means let it kind of soften up and, you know, not be as rock hard as it is. Oh, I forgot to tell you what aftershave I'm gonna be using. I've got some vintage Brut by Fabergé in a tiny little box. This thing's like, what, about 3 inches tall? This was Elvis's favorite aftershave. We're gonna use this. I have not used this yet. It's still in its original little, it must have been a trial sample size. But yeah, so let's give it a shot. I think it's from 1969, if I'm not mistaken. I'll open up the package here at the end and we'll take a look. But, all right, so, took the brush out. I'm gonna squeeze most of the water out. And this thing's been blooming for as long as I think it should. And I'm gonna start to lather, see what we can get out of this Colgate shaving mug soap. Now, these Badger hair brushes are really thirsty, so they need a little bit more soap than I usually need to use with my synthetic. And, you know, if you've watched my videos for a while, I kind of had a hard time making a really good lather and keeping it going for more than just one, sorry, it's shedding, more than one pass. But I learned that you just got to put a little bit more. So here we go. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. For however old this is, it's got a very light scent, like a classic barbershop scent. It's not weird like that tube of Colgate shaving, you know, brushless shaving cream, or was it brushless? Oh gosh, I can't remember now. I need to review my old videos before I start opening up my big yapper. All right. Now, that's another reason why I don't like badger brushes, they shed and they get these long badger hairs all over your face. Looks like you're turning into Badger Man. All right. Puh. So it works well. It works well. Look at that. Still got, yeah, see badger hairs. Hang it. Kind of grosses me out. A little bit. Like Jerry Seinfeld once said, if you find a hair in your food, it's the most disgusting thing you've ever seen in your life. But as long as it's still attached to your head, you want to hold it and touch it and kiss it. But as soon as that thing gets out of there, ooh. All right, let's shave. Another one. Gosh, dang. Maybe I need to use that more often to get those things out of there. That was sent to me a long time ago by a friend of the channel whose name eludes me at the moment, so I apologize. But Christian sent me the Colgate puck, and what else did you send me, Christian? You sent me a few things. So here we go. This is the 1966. This is the model razor that replaced the Fatboy. And in the last video, I showed you the difference in the design and length and handle thickness between this one and the Fatboy. And I've been having discussions with people in comments who have been asking me about Fatboys and this and that. And I've come to the realization I'm not exactly sure why the Fatboy gets all the love. Why does the Fatboy get all the love? Like, more Fatboys should get more love. Why does that razor, the $1.95, the Gillette $1.95, from, what was it, 58 to 61, I believe, were the production years? That one is the darling of all the shaving channels and wet shavers and communities and forums and everything else, as far as vintage razors go. And the Gillette Slim is well respected, and everyone says, oh, it's a good razor. Oh, it's a good razor, it's fine. But this past week with this one, I can't even remember where I got this thing, to be honest with you. I think I might have gotten it off of, or from an antique store somewhere. Now, I did nick myself. Earlier when I said I did nick myself with this, I did nick myself. I forgot until I just noticed that there's still a little bit of a scab right there from yesterday. But this thing, I noticed it when I changed the setting to 7. That after that first pass, sometimes with other razors, you'll kind of feel how it's done after that first pass, and there's usually a substantial amount of whiskers left, but this thing was sliced and thrown like nobody's business. And because the head is smaller than a Fatboy, it's easier to get under your nose, get those little pesky hairs right underneath your nostrils. Not your nose hairs, those are different. You gotta get another trimmer for those. Men, trim your nose hair, trim your ear hair, keep your eyebrows in check. I have to do all that stuff, and so should you. Why should I be the only guy that's nearly 50 years old and trying to remain as hairless as possible? I just noticed that Kevy of Kevy Shaves turned 50. So happy birthday to you, Kevy. I'm on your trail as far as age goes, buddy. There we go, after that first pass. I think the blade's getting a little bit, like I said, this is like the 4th time I've used this Astra blade, so I should probably put a new one in there. Because those first couple of ones were just like, boom, fantastic. So, what I'm trying to say is, you don't have to own a Fatboy. You can get a Gillette Slim for less money on eBay or Etsy, and not to spend an arm and a leg. You can get one of these for, 20 bucks, whereas Fatboys generally go from about 37 US up to, gosh, some of them $100 or more, depending on the day. eBay's fickle like that. Some days you'll get a fantastic deal, and other days you won't. Hey, speaking of fantastic, I just got a good second lather out of that with the, I think I've figured out badger brushes now. Finally, after how many years have I been doing this? Sad, really. I know, I'm not a professional. I just shave and I talk to you guys. That's kind of my angle. There are wet shavers and wet shaving channels that know way more than I do, and I enjoy watching them. But I just kind of want to be a normal guy, Not that they're not normal, but you know what I mean. So I tend to focus more on guitars and history than what shaving products are coming out. But I finally sent off the one blade razor. Took me long enough. I was terrible about it. Saw it sitting there on my dresser for the past 2 weeks. Like, I gotta get that thing out. So finally, it's heading to the UK. Let me know when you get it. Speaking of that, shout outs. There's only one shout out today. It's to Jeffrey Cox, who is a longtime watcher and commenter. I think I shouted out Jeffrey one time before, but shout out again, Jeffrey. Hope you're doing well, buddy. He's been having kind of some tough times lately, so we're thinking about you, buddy. This Colgate vintage shaving cream, or shaving soap, whatever you'd like to call it, is good. I love the fact that I'm able to use all this vintage stuff and it worked perfectly today, you know? Now I'm wondering, 50 years from now, is there anybody going to be using the Gillette one ball heated fusion blade razor in one of these videos? I doubt it. Just the same way that, like, after a while, are there not going to be any more vintage car shows? I mean, who's I think I've said this before, who's going to care in 50 years? Oh, look at him. He brought the 2010 Honda Civic. Whoa, that's so cool. Check out how practical it is. That thing is so practical. I don't know. All right, third pass, ladies and gentlemen. And then the Brut aftershave. Now, as you can tell from my YouTube name, Sinatra Lennon. I'm a huge Beatles fan. I love the Rat Pack. I love Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin. You know, if you listen, you can sort of hear some Dave Brubeck jazz in the background, just enough so that you can't really hear it. But I am a huge Elvis fan. Huge. And I did know that he loved to use Brut aftershave. So I looked online and I found this. There you go, found this stuff. And it is expensive. Like, if you want to buy a big bottle of it, it's expensive. So I bought the little bitty bottle, because that's all I really need. But it is from, I believe, 1969. It says there's a little brochure inside I'll show you with the date. So that Brut aftershave was created during the time when Elvis was alive. He passed away in 1977, in case you didn't know. I hope he got to see Star Wars. I think I heard tell that he did see Star Wars, because Star Wars came out in May '77, and he passed away in August. So I guarantee he saw it. Can you imagine going to the movie theater to see Star Wars in 1977? There's Elvis. Of course, he would have rented out the whole theater, so you wouldn't have seen him. But you know what I mean. You know where I'm coming from. I like to think that kind of stuff. Did Elvis buy any action figures? Well, actually, he couldn't, because the action figures didn't come out until '78. Poor Elvis. Just missed out. Yeah, right, poor Elvis. Yeah, I blame Dr. Nick. Elvis was kind of like a little kid surrounded by yes men that all thought it was a great idea, whatever his ideas were, almost like Michael Jackson, you know. Hey man, I think we'll buy everybody a Cadillac and we'll drive them into the ocean. It's a good idea, E. Let's do it. Sorry about that phone call. I should remember to put this thing on airplane mode. It was my dad. He wants to get in on the action. He wants to get on. And one of these days, sometime soon, we'll have a hangout with me and Sinatra Lennon Sr., which is not his actual name, of course. All right. What are we feeling like here? Yeah, I can tell that this shave needed a new blade. So a fresh blade and like the 2 or maybe 3, and this Gillette Slim, it's really, really good shave. So let me wash off. There's always a little bit right here. I always catch that, so let me get that. And then we'll try some of this Brut aftershave and see what it's like to smell like Elvis for a little while. If I can't look like him, if I can't necessarily sing like him, then at least I can smell like him. All right. Let's see if this is gonna burn or not. Okay, let's open this little tiny box. Brut, Fabergé Brut for Men lotion. Brut by Fabergé. All right, let's open this little box up. See what the little bottle looks like. Oh, there's the brochure. Look, it's glass, it's a little miniature. It's like an airline bottle, booze bottle kind of size. Fabergé Incorporated, Paris, London, Toronto, New York. Made in the USA. There you go. Let's look at this little brochure here. Ooh, bold. Wait a minute. Bold, brash, brute for men. Let's open this thing up. For aftershave, after shower, after anything. Let's just, you can take a look at that. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can see that and pause it. And it is dated 1969 right there. So this came from 1969. It tells you they got Brut for men, Brut spray, Brut 33, Brut cream shave, Brut shampoo, talc, deodorant. They got everything. And on the back, it's in French. Was this a Canadian market? Or was it because it was trying to sound fancy? I don't know. But anyway, let's try this stuff out. I have not used any. The cap's a little weirdly crooked. I'm not sure why that is. It all seems to be in there. So let's try. It's 3/8 of an ounce. That's why it's so small. Oh, that's so classic. This is such a classic scent. Brut is still out there today, but from what I understand, it smells a little bit different. So let's liberally splash this on. It's kind of a... Ow! Oh! Ouch! Whoo! Oh, that hurt. You've been waiting a long time to do that to somebody, haven't you? 50 years. This stuff is 50 years old and it still packs a wallop. Wow. Both scent-wise and alcohol-wise. Whoa, daddy. Whew. Let's do it again. Oh, man. That is pungent. Whoa. It's like Sex Panther from Anchorman. Oh, man. Elvis, buddy, you're a bold dude walking around smelling like this. I gotta wash my hands. Oh, it burns. Stings the nostrils. Oh, wow. That Brut. I should not have used that much. I might need to. I don't think my wife is gonna like that. I don't know if I'm gonna like that. I'm just gonna leave it on. I'm not gonna wash it off. I'm gonna leave it on. But wow. Whoa, 50-year-old Brut. That's fascinating. Whew. Let's put that away. Let's put you back in your box. There you go. All right. Oh, man. Well, that was interesting. Thanks a lot, Christian, for sending me this stuff. It worked great. It still looks good. I'm going to save that just like that. I'll wash out the suds. In case you're wondering how to keep a puck like that, just kind of wash it out and leave it there. It might lose its scent, but since this is so old anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. Wash out your brush, the vintage brush, and the Gillette Slim from 1966. Fascinating. That's great stuff. And the Brut. Oh, let's not forget the Brut. Whew! This whole bathroom now reeks of Elvis Aaron Presley. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me. I will see you all on Monday with something. We'll both find out together what that might be. Thanks, everybody. See you soon. Bye.